Cousins looks at Cook. He's not open. Going the other way, and down he goes. Preston Smith came through with a sack. Down by 1. Pressure coming. Cousins decked. Throws it up for Jefferson. He's got it! And he is in! Rodgers floats one. Valdez-Scantling in stride. Trying to get to the end zone. He's going to go! A bomb to Valdez-Scantling! Greg Joseph to win it. He's got it! Vikings a winner!
Welcome back to the Cheesehead and the Viking. We've got a Week 11 recap and Week 12 preview coming up. We will cover the elephant in the room right now because we have a bloke down there that you guys probably haven't seen, but you may be seeing a lot more of depending on how he goes. His name is Manjot. Manjot, the myth, the legend. He runs PastryPressNFL. That's basically an article-based NFL news type place on Instagram, his own website. All of that will be linked in the description below. But let's get started. Week 11 recap. Viking, mate, what are your thoughts on our game that we had?
Our amazing game. Our awesome win by the Vikings.
What a comeback by the Packers, though, throughout the game. They had everything.
I don't know. No comeback. It was just 1 for 1. Sneaky.
It was 1 for 1,
game.
and the Packers got 2.
Yeah, well, you're right.
So it is a comeback.
Yeah, comeback. Just I don't know, sneaky sort of game of the season vibes for that one, I reckon. Up there for sure for game of the season.
I reckon at least in the top 3 candidates. What do you reckon of that, Manjot?
Yeah, I reckon like that's a game of the year candidate for me. Like just back and forth, a bit of a comeback from the Packers, as you said. Like I was watching it on Red Zone, so I didn't completely enjoy the game, but I did get enough of the gist, and it was just intense start to finish.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
Totally.
It was that's what stuff.
Yeah, I reckon that's what you want from game of the years too, or those sort of games. I don't care who it is, it's just Packers Vikings. Yeah, but it's just, and it's cool because I think.
Dude, don't be saying it's just Packers Vikings, mate. It's a rivalry for a reason. It's a rivalry for a reason, isn't it?
Well, try not to make you feel too bad. At least until the next one at Lambeau when we flog your socks at home too.
Nah, that won't happen. But you didn't even flog our socks at US Bank either. It was 1.
No, and I don't think, in all honesty, that's who the Vikings are now. I don't think they're going to ever destroy teams now. I think it's going to be all these close games, whether it's low score, high score, but they're just a team now that's just going to. I think this is who they are now when they play properly, when they attack.
They did well, they did well, and I'm really. It's a little bit scary for the Packers because, we've got big NFC rivals coming up over the next few weeks. We've got the Bears, we've got the Vikings again, we've got the Rams this week coming up, but we'll cover that later on in the episode. But it's really a bit how you're going. But right now, let's quickly cross over to Manjot to give his 49ers match recap from the game, this week just gone. Manjot, how did the 49ers do?
It was a pretty great game by my 49ers against the Jaguars down in Florida. Mm-hmm. We were playing at 5 a.m. in the morning, which is 10 a.m. Pacific time for the 49ers. So they had to acclimatize to the conditions. But I think we did pretty well. We received the opening kickoff, and we went for a 13-minute and 2-second drive to start the game. And we only went away with 3 points. Sadly, on that drive, because Jimmy Garoppolo missed a wide open pass to Jeff Wilson Jr. in the end zone. Yeah, but from there, the Jaguars went 3 and out, and then we got the ball, we scored a touchdown. It just kept going like that the whole game, and then we saw a bit of Trey Lance at the end. We won 30-10 because Trey Lance ran in for the game clinching first down, just to before the kneel down. So. He did pretty well.
Yeah, I think it's a good game. That was a good game too, I think. I think that's just the 49ers showing who they are as well now. It's they're not afraid to try and control a game or control a team. Even if they did just go for those 3 points on that first drive, it was the fact that the drive went for so long and they're taking all that time off the clock.
Literally almost the whole first quarter,
Yeah, they're not letting other teams back into it because they're just controlling the clock, which is, it's what good teams do to win games.
Or they deflate the ball if you're Tom Brady.
Yeah. So that was actually the longest drive in any NFL game since 1997, according to
Wow.
NFL stats and research.
And was that last game in 97, was that a Joe Montana 49ers game that had happened in?
I can't remember who the teams were. I didn't actually get to see, but yeah, it was any team. Like no team has had like a 13-minute and 2-second long drive since like 1997.
The stats show it too. Like the 49ers time of possession in that was 38 minutes. Like that's a long ass time in a 60-minute game. That's over half.
Given it's mainly most snaps happen for like most players take 40 minutes max in the entire game.
25 first downs to 14. Like it's huge. So they just destroyed them.
I'm surprised the scoreline wasn't even more than that.
Yeah.
No, well done to the 49ers. I just figured we'd cover the 49ers game given we didn't have a second game to cover, because the Packers played the Vikings. But before we get into our MVP of the week and our play of the week, I thought we might switch it up and do our match previews before we get into the other, players who we picked and all that. So the Vikings, who do they take on this week, Tommo?
Well, it's obvious. That's why Manjot's here. So we're taking on the 49ers this week. So it's going to be, it'll be, again, I reckon it'll be a close game because if Cousins keeps up the mantra that he's been given now is to just play attacking football and just throw caution to the wind, I think there's going to be points. They're going to score a bucket load of points. And then I think the 49ers are coming off a couple of really, really good weeks as well. So that's going to be strong. I think they're showing that they're very strong now. So that's going to be a really good game again.
Absolutely. And what do you have to say about that for 49ers bloke Manjot, mate? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I did some notes on this one actually. So I think it's going to be a pretty close game. Both teams are 5-5. The Vikings are holding on to that 6th seed. The 49ers just on the outside of the playoff picture. AFC.
Well, that's the other thing too. We're both going for that wild card. That's those seeded stuff in the same division. So the Saints are in between in 7th. So 3 teams on 5-5, just 6 to 8. Like you've got like
and only one of those 3 teams will come out with 6-5.
Yeah.
One of those 3 teams. I mean, the Saints may come out with 6-5, but one of your 2 teams will come out with a 6-5. With it being in San Francisco, the Vikings having to travel a bit, and given everything that's gone on this week with Everson Griffin, which I just want to cover right now for anyone who's listening or watching when this goes up. Our full support is behind Everson Griffin, even though I'm a cheesehead, and even though, Manjot's a 49ers fan, you hate to see it. It's like seeing an MCL or an ACL career or season-ending injury. Very similar. You hate to see it. We wish Everson nothing but the best in his, recovery, his journey, and his hopeful return to the NFL maybe next season. Absolutely. And if you or anyone who's going through any potential, mental health issues or any issues in general, please be sure to go to the appropriate services and whatnot. And the ones that are based in Australia will be linked below, such as Headspace, Lifeline, all those sort of Beyond Blue, all of those. So I just wanted to take the time out to mention that because you hate to see it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
but it's a big thing. It's a big thing too, though, because it's part of that.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're going to have a couple of guys out. There are a few guys on limited practices and stuff like Bashard Breeland and Anthony Barr. But the other big out for this week
Wyatt
for the
Davis,
Vikings is Wyatt Davis is out as well. Yeah. The really other big out, other than Everson Griffin, which is going to be a big part of the game, is Dalvin Tomlinson.
Yeah.
So Tomlinson being on the COVID list is a massive kick in the pants for the Vikings, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what's the injury/COVID list look like for the 49ers, Manjot, if you know?
So actually we've been improving our injury list the past few weeks. So
nice.
As we know, 2020 49ers were injured as hell. The season was just a wash. 2021 we come in, the season starts bad on the injury front, and again we start choking games to the Colts and stuff. That was terrible. Our terrible run of form coincided with a few injuries. But this week we get Dre Greenlaw and D Ford off IR, so they should be huge additions to our defense.
And I just saw Vikings heart sink a little bit just then when he heard those names. What does that mean for you as a Vikings fan, Tommo?
Oh, it's hard. I mean, the 49ers D is already really strong anyway.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the big test. Yeah. That's what the big test is for the Vikings. I think the Vikings D is going to be able to really take it against the 49ers offense. But
for sure.
It's obviously I mean, it's everything in a Vikings game. That's where our ups and downs have been is on offense. Mm-hmm. It's what happens between Cousins and being able to utilize Jefferson or Thielen. The way that we've been playing them at the moment too, using
they've been
Jefferson
doing really well. Jefferson and Thielen. I was about to say, it pains me to say it as a Packers fan, but mate, both of them had standout games against the Packers and standout games the game before the Packers as well.
A lot of the snaps last week against the Packers, they actually doubled them up on the one side.
Yeah,
I think
did.
That was where it was really powerful because they were just, they were taking it to the secondary of the Packers and really just putting them off.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think
literally, excuse the pun, threw off their game.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be a big part of the plan against the 49ers as well. It's going to have to be, and it's the way to do it. And when there's so many of those plays, I was watching some coaches film and shit through the week, and you can see plays where both Jefferson and Thielen were getting open because they were just confusing the secondary. So, Kirk had options. Even there's a big play. There's a big play, I think, in the second quarter. It might have even been the third quarter to Jefferson downfield. He had a massive, like a 70 or 80 yarder. And you see on that play that Thielen got himself well open as well. So he was open underneath. So.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I think that's that's enough talk about the 49ers game. No, I'm saying that because we're already almost 20 minutes into the recording.
No, there's never enough Vikings. Never enough.
This is true.
If you look at Instagram and Facebook feed that CJ is doing a lot of, never enough Vikings.
Yeah.
If you want to see Vikings, if you want to see maximum Vikings content, get onto our Twitter because I just spam it.
No,
I spam it all day.
Stuff. It is good stuff. Actually, please do. We could do with more followers over on Twitter.
That is a really good point. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Search for us, follow us.
There's plenty of Packers stuff on Instagram, but also we've been covering a lot of Gridiron Australia stuff on the Instagram. Yes. So that's why it's also slammed a bit, which will give that a big mention towards the end of the episode. But
no,
go ahead.
No, go. What do we got?
I was going to say, Packers game. Packers play a relatively in-form Rams this week coming up at Lambeau. Again, injuries. I'll go through that first. So the casualty ward, we've got Bakhtiari did not participate or did not practice. We've got Kelvin King and Malik Taylor, again, both on that. Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't participate on Wednesdays anyway, but he's got a fractured toe. I'm sorry, as much of a Packers fan as I am.
No, he's got COVID toe. That's what he called it.
COVID toe.
Yeah, same shit. I wish he was comatose instead of COVID toes.
And he found some crackpot doctor to tell him to say that it's a real thing. COVID toe is a real thing.
Yeah, I straight up cannot stand Aaron Rodgers. As a devout cheesehead, I'm sorry, I can't I don't like him. He's become nothing but a diva. So I'm sorry, Aaron, you're on your own. You may be able to pull out a win from nowhere after 10 days off like he did against the Seahawks. But no, I'm sorry. If you're saying I can't play because I got a fractured toe, absolutely I can understand. It's very painful to stand on. But at the same time, mate, there are players that tear their ACL and finish a game. There are players that are playing injured for the whole season and then deal with the surgery after the season because they want to do the best for the team. Example, not NFL-based, but NRL. Nathan Cleary literally had a busted, torn pectoral muscle, I think, or his shoulder for about 10 rounds before finals and went on to win the grand final. Pain-killing injections. It's not COVID. It's not the COVID injection, Aaron, so you don't have to be worried about it.
I'll give you an NFL reference. Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield has not wanted to come off the field. They had to drag him off the field to rest him because the dude had a ridiculous left shoulder that was broken. He had broken ribs, and he was saying, "No, I want to play."
Yep. So, whereas Aaron Rodgers is like, "I can't. I've got a fractured toe." It's like I don't want to get in.
It's COVID toe. He's saying his toes are cold. His toes are cold.
I mean, I can understand after that game at Lambeau in the snow. I understand that, but
and a historical example, you could use Calvin Johnson, 2012.
Yes,
broke the receiving yards record with broken fingers.
Yes.
Yeah. They're catching balls.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we should get off that.
I was going to say,
Packers, Rams.
yeah, exactly right. Anyway, getting back onto the Packers casualty ward, we got Devontae Adams limited, Rashawn Gary limited, Aaron Jones limited, Alan Lazard again limited. All basically our fucking team that we rely on really limited and or didn't participate. So yeah. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to predict and cop the L for the Packers this week.
I don't know. It's going to be a weird one because like the Rams, 2 losses before the bye as well, and one of those to the 49ers, by the way.
Yeah.
Before those 2 games, they were playing amazing. And people were picking them for top of divisions, Super Bowl, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. All sorts of the big stuff. And then they go and sign OBJ as well.
Yeah, fuck OBJ.
Yeah, OBJ out, please.
Yeah. I didn't want him at the Packers. I just see him as nothing. But honestly, if anything, he's more of a diva than Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, I know. Definitely. Right? Yeah. But it's just it'll be a weird one. I reckon that the Rams will be trying to get a bit of a revenge game, trying to really get themselves back. I think they're at 7-3 now, so I think they're gonna want to come out obviously at 8-3. And I think Stafford especially is probably going to have something to prove.
Oh, absolutely. What are your thoughts on it, Manjot?
All right, I'm going to be a bit controversial here, but I'm like a little unsold on the Rams here. Like you look at the teams they've beaten, the only good team they've really beaten is the Buccaneers. Like the teams they've lost to the 49ers, the Titans, the Cardinals. Those are the 3 teams they've lost to. So they've been losing to all the contenders, only beaten 1 contender. So I'd argue that like they've had a pretty soft schedule to like start off the year. So this is going to be a real test for them. So they have to prove themselves in this game.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Hard agree.
I guess it'll be out of this game whether or not we know whether or not the Packers are contenders as well, really.
Absolutely agreed.
And that's not even taking a big stab at CJ, but it's
I hard agree. Yeah. It will definitely be the telling point because we're now getting towards the business end of the season, so we really do need to be like, right, where does our team look like it's going to stand at the end of the regular season?
Well, I think from week 12 onwards it's pretty obvious that results matter from here on out. It doesn't matter whether it's in division, in conference or not, I think it just matters. So
absolutely it does. And so let's go through our game day predictions. Manjot, let's go with your predictions for the Packers game and also for your beloved 49ers game.
Now, I was probably going to pick the Packers here, but I'm actually going to tip the Rams because the Packers got that long injury list.
Yep.
And for the 49ers was Vikings. Now, that one's pretty difficult. But I'm going to go with the 49ers. Now, we haven't had the best home record since we beat both your teams in the playoffs a couple of years ago. We've only won against the Rams. Sorry, guys. I probably got myself kicked off.
Nice job. I like it. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
No.
But
I love that.
Ever since we beat both your teams to get to the Super Bowl, we've only beat the Rams like at home. Like we haven't beat anyone else. And we didn't have a home like stadium at the end of last year because of COVID. But like even then, we've had like the worst home record in the league. But I think like this time, like I believe like the 49ers probably by 3 points. I reckon it'll come down to the wire.
Okay, and going for the Packers-Rams game, you didn't give a scoreline prediction. How many points do you reckon, or sort of thing?
I go Rams by 7. Honestly, I think it's still going to be tight. Like Aaron Rodgers, if he's playing, which he probably is, like I reckon he'll keep it tight. But I think Stafford and the Rams will have a little more firepower in them to win by 7 points.
Yeah, fair enough. And what about yourself, Tommo? Who do you think is going to win out of both games? And again, scoreline predictions.
I reckon Packers Rams. It's pretty tight at the moment. I think it'll be tight as. I think it'll be high score. I think I'm going for a high scoring game. I sort of expect there to be a lot of Matt Stafford, a lot of Cooper Kupp, and then a lot of Rodgers and probably Adams because I think he will play. Yeah. So I think it'll be a lot of big throws, a lot of crazy stuff going on. I think I'm leaning towards the Rams by a close one, like a couple of points.
Yeah, like maybe either a field goal or a touchdown max.
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty much just leaning that way because of the size of even if the guys all do play, the size of the Packers injury list, they're all going to be playing in sort of compromised positions, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas the Rams are coming off a bye, and I think they're going to come off a bye strong. After a couple of losses, they're going to really, I think they will have taken it to heart. So, and then, Vikings 49ers, I think equally, I think it's just going to be a score-a-thon. I think it's going to be high points again. Sort of expect it. It'll be a lot of Jimmy G, big, quick throws the way he does, which are pretty amazing. And then a lot of Cousins, Jefferson, Thielen. So, but I'll be going Vikings, I reckon. All year now, Vikings by 3. That's it. Every game.
Yep. Well, I mean, fair enough.
But if we win by more than 3, I'm going to change the background, okay?
Yeah, if you do win by more than 3, absolutely. We'll hold you to that. Now, my prediction, obviously, for the Vikings 49ers or the 49 Kings, I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
49 Kings.
The 49 Kings, yep. That's an idea, maybe like the Steagles, but the 49 Kings if they ever go bankrupt.
The mergers,
anyway, right? So my prediction for that is it'll be the Vikings in a close one. As in, like you said, Tommo, it will be a score-a-thon, but for both teams. I see it maybe being 30 points plus for both teams. Very similar to the Packers-Vikings game. I see it going down as in literally score for score for score for score, but much more scoring. And I'm going to say Vikings by a touchdown points difference, at least 7 points, 6 to 7 points.
6 to 7?
Yeah. So by 6, I mean that could be 2 field goals. So that way it covers my ass. Now, obviously my prediction is, as I said, Rams, but by how much? I hope it's only a field goal difference, but realistically, I'm thinking, 10-point difference, I think, unfortunately, but I think that's what it'll be. And we'll have to take a long, hard look at ourselves and decide, right, does Aaron Rodgers deserve the starting spot next week, as in the following week, because of his COVID toe stance and shit? I don't know. But those are our predictions to anyone who's keen to listen to that and then fuck off and not listen to the podcast again for the rest of the episode. But now we've got our New Dawn Carpentry MVPs of the week. I personally didn't actually pick one because I've just been so busy this past week organising things for Gridiron Australia and all that sort of stuff. However, because it was his birthday. So let's tell the truth. Yes. It was my birthday. No. My birthday was yesterday. I could have picked literally an MVP before then. But also, if I'm telling the truth, I didn't watch a single NFL game this weekend. Just gone. Yeah. But anyway.
So give it. So MVP. New Dawn Carpentry then.
My MVP of the week is New Dawn Carpentry. If you want the best carpentry jobs done, whether it's something like a simple pergola or if you want shelving or whatever in the Tweed Heads and Gold Coast area, be sure to call Jake Watson of New Dawn Carpentry. Now, Tommo, who's yours?
Eric Kendricks for me this week. Stellar game this week against the Packers. He had a whole bunch. There's tackles and assists. I think he had like 5 tackles, 6 assists. So he was everywhere So he was everywhere. He was all over that Packers O-line and all over in Rodgers' face the entire game. So,
but didn't get a sack though. But that's fair. He was still everywhere though.
Yeah, no, but it's not. It's pressures. It's all about pressures.
Exactly. So, in the just. And Manjot, who is your MVP of the week from week 11?
So I think it's hard to go past this dude, Jonathan Taylor. He had the game of his life.
Did he? What?
Colts versus Bills. Yeah, 5 touchdowns. 4 rushing, 1 receiving. He was going off. Led the Colts to a huge victory over the Bills.
Wasn't it some kind of record or something as well?
I think so.
Oh, it was the second most touchdowns in a game. The record's 6 by Alvin Kamara and some dude who played for the Cardinals back in the 20s.
Some dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some dude.
Apologies for not remembering your name.
No, that's all good. I mean, it's 1920s. Who cares? That wasn't the NFL. It was. So now that's fair. And our last bit, we'll go our plays of the week. Again, I'm gonna have to go by it was New Dawn Carpentry. But no, who's your play of the week from this week? Just Gordon Manjot. We'll start with you.
This one was hard. I'd have to go with either the touchdown pass from Rodgers to Valdez-Scantling. Or we go to Sunday Night Football.
That was a great touchdown.
Yeah. And there was a similar one in Sunday Night Football that won the game for the Chargers. Herbert to Mike Williams down the left sideline, 61 yards or something like that. Like, it was just an amazing throw to win that game. That one was a great game too. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. What about yourself, Tommo? What's your play of the week?
Oh man, I don't know what to pick. It was going to be something out of the Vikings game, and there's probably like 3 or 4 amazing plays that I was trying to.
By the Packers,
I reckon no, absolutely not. I reckon it was the Thielen catch in the fourth quarter where he spun out and ran down the sideline.
Yes, that was great.
He managed to keep feet in, exactly what you want out of a WR, really. Yeah, so down that sideline, and I think that was a big moment in that game. Actually,
it was a big.
If he hadn't done that, if he was over the sideline there, I think it would have. There's a very different outcome. So.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, no.
Or if Rasul Douglas picked it off. Yeah, if Rasul Douglas picked it off.
So close to picking it off, but that was, and that's where Kurt was saying that maybe he was a bit too reckless. But then even Zimmer said, no, we want him to be reckless. So,
but Zimmer's usually so conservative in plays. He's like,
you know
what? Let's run on 2nd and 10 in overtime. Wolves.
I think Zimmer's been reading a lot of social media, and he's going, everyone wants to play reckless. I'll play reckless, thinking that he's going to get one up on everybody.
We've got the juniors. It turns out we're winning because we're all right. Third game of 5. Wolves are looking to secure the win of the series because they've got 2 so far. Can they get the treble and maybe do a 5-0 whitewash with the Gladiators? Again, find out on our Instagram and Facebook. You know, we'll be posting the videos and all that sort of stuff and score updates once those games are done. Then jetting over to the good old away from our time zone in South Australia, we've got the University of South Australia, so Uni SA Eagles, taking on a team that I absolutely hate only because of the first part of their name is a team I hate in the AFL, the Port Adelaide Spartans. They take them on the 27th of November, so Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff in South Australia, so 3:30 if you're in New South Wales, Victoria or Canberra, and 2:30 p.m. if you're in Queensland. That will be live streamed on 180 Creations on their YouTube and Facebook page, I'm led to believe, and we will put up that footage after the game as well. So be sure to look at that. That's at Riverside Oval in Port Adelaide. Then the second game is Adelaide Uni Hogs against South Sydney Chiefs. A big game. So this is the last round before playoffs, by the way, for anyone who's listening. Should have mentioned that beforehand, but yeah, that's 12 p.m. kickoff. So it's the game before. So apologies to anyone who's getting confused. 12 p.m. kickoff, again, Riverside Oval. And again, will be live streamed at 180 Creations. Their links will be in the description below. Then we're going to a bit of gridiron in Queensland, the good old Sunshine State. We've got 1 p.m. kickoff at Deception-based Sports Centre. The Bayside Ravens take on the Brisbane Rhinos. Rhinos coming off a good win against the Gold Coast Stingrays. And honestly, some of those plays were amazing. So if you want to see the highlights of that game, head to our YouTube channel. The link will be in the description. And then we've got a 4 p.m. kickoff at Hyde Park in Logan City. The Logan City Bears take on the Gold Coast Stingrays. Stingrays doing unfortunately woeful this year. I mean, no offense to them if they're watching or listening to this, but they're not doing well at all this year. Okay. And I can only hope for them that they get better next season. Then we've got the Raptors against the Mustangs. So that's a 4 p.m. kickoff as well at Deception-based Sports Centre. So honestly, you've got an action-packed Australia-wide stuff, Queensland, ACT, South Australia. The New South Wales comp isn't up and running at the moment because the Waratah Bowl was cancelled. Oh, and then you've got Far North Queensland, if you want to count them. The Cairns, fucking wanted to say Cairns Crocs for a second. The Cairns Falcons. How could I forget? Because I totally ripped off the Atlanta Falcons logo. I'll cut.
Oh, it's amazing. Love it.
Isn't it great? But yeah, so the Cairns Falcons, they've got a game on this weekend. It's possibly... I was also talking to the Bayside Ravens. Their games may be cancelled. We're not sure yet, purely because of inclement weather up in Queensland at the moment. It's just not doing well at all. So be sure to check out their social medias or ours, because we will be posting updates if the games are cancelled. If they go ahead, as they say, no news is good news. Tommo, mate, do you have anything to say after that long-ass spiel?
How good is gridiron in Australia? It's great to be finding out a lot about this stuff. I wish I'd found out a lot more about this kind of thing 5, maybe 10 years ago too. Yeah. Not that I would have ever played, but I do love to get involved. So it's just amazing to be. Some of these guys now coming to us and sort of saying, "Can you feature some stuff, or can we come and have a chat?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will. To anyone,
yeah,
it's open if anyone wants to come. Yep.
Yeah, hit us up. Hit us up on Insta or Facebook, wherever.
Twitter, wherever you guys get your daily dose of the Cheesehead and the Viking. We will reply.
CJ's been having some amazing chats with a couple of dudes so far, and I know he's got a lot more lined up. So keep a watch out for that. I'm just loving it. I'm loving all the Australian content.
Do you follow it? Do you play it? What's your take on the Australian Gridiron stuff?
So yeah, I do watch all like the highlights you guys put up. Like last week I was like I'll just do a bit of an analysis on the ACT because that's where I live. So like I play flag football in the ACT. So like, you know, ACT flag football has been doing pretty well. Like it's run by Urban Rec Canberra. So it's like
is that weekly or monthly or?
Yeah, weekly on Thursday. Sadly, today is Thursday. Sadly, it's just pouring like right now.
Yeah.
So, like the grounds are just closed.
I think that's the entirety of New South Wales and ACT.
Well, literally, right? I'm in Tweed Heads and it's bucketing down here, so I think it's everywhere.
It was raining here 20 minutes ago. I walked outside to get my laptop, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. It was just raining when like I could just hear on the roof like at the start of the podcast. I was like, I hope this is not audible.
Nah, it's not, but it sounds like steak sizzling, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But no, that's awesome that you play flag football. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I do. Flag football is just a great sport. Yeah, we play for fun, social. It's just a great sport. I enjoy like playing wide receiver, like I said, to you guys before the show. And
nice.
Well, you know, it's just very fun. Yeah. I've been watching some of the ACT Gridiron stuff as well. Like I saw you guys highlights. Now I do want to stay neutral because, you know, I could like, you know, I don't want to like limit any opportunities in like interviewing any of these guys or anything. But if I had to choose a team, like I have a couple of friends on the Gungahlin Wolves. So like,
but don't you also play flag football with a Centurions player?
I do, yeah, I do. Well, against a Centurions player, but
but you still play with them technically, though.
Technically, yeah. So you know, I do know. Okay. Do know people from like both the Centurions. I know a couple from the Centurions, a couple from the Wolves. So like, you know, I would lean.
So let me put it this way: you'll rock up and watch that game, but you won't go and watch a Gladiators game. I'm kidding.
Oh no, don't worry. I watch all the live streams. Don't worry. But yeah, I was watching Centurions and Wolves last week. If I'm able to give a quick analysis, like it was a pretty tight fought game. Like I reckon the Wolves, like they started really well. Like they were like really like this is their first game as like a senior team.
As ever.
And they were ever. And they were like matching it up with like a 2-time
with the back-to-back winners. Like they won it last year and the year before.
They won the Capital Bowl 2 years in a row. And gee, like the Wolves were just hanging on. It was just like a couple of mistakes on special teams that really let the Centurions run away with it. But it was a lot closer than what the scoreline seemed to suggest.
Absolutely.
And the Wolves definitely do need to be commended for like their great play, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And
I'm enjoying watching some of those highlights.
Oh, sweet.
Some of that stuff. And I'm really cool. I think I'm keen to know a bit more about some of the guys so I can follow it a bit more deeply. It's me and my
absolutely.
Me and my brain where I want to dig into what's going on with dudes, not just watch the football. And I want to see a bit more of the stats and stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, there's websites. I'm pretty sure that I'll edit this bit out that I'll link you to, like as in Gridiron South Australia, Gridiron Queensland. Also, can we need to give a massive shout out to the commentator that commentates the South Australia Gridiron games. If you guys haven't seen the highlights, hit the link in the description below. That guy is honestly amazing with he's very American. He's very football. He embodies what gridiron/football is all about. So he's also giving us a shout out. This is going to be edited out. He's giving us a shout out in the live streams this weekend. So be sure to check out those games. And he's actually going to come onto the podcast as well as a guest for us. I haven't teed up at the same time. I'm trying to tee up for the week before the Great Southern Bowl is what the South Australian Bowl is called. So that's December 11th. So like in the next few weeks, he'll be jumping on either as an interview or as a guest co-host. I'm not sure yet which one. Again, this bit will be edited out. I'm just going to find his name real quick. His name's Brad something.
It's South Australia, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, South Australia. Yeah.
Have they just started their league?
No. They're almost into the finals.
Are they right? Yeah.
Yeah. Brad Cummins. Sorry, is his name. So in 3, 2. Also, I want to give a massive shout out and big ups to one of the commentators, one of the main commentators that works with and for 180 Creations for the South Australian Gridiron League, Brad Cummins. He embodies everything that is gridiron and football in Australia. He's got the American accent because he's obviously American. He knows so many ins and outs of the game. He has a good football IQ, and it's so entertaining to hear him speak, especially when he yells "Touchdown, Hogs!" It's so good.
You are so bad at that. You are so bad at that.
I didn't want to be too loud. That's all. I didn't want to be too loud. So what I'll do is I'll edit that audio of his when I say it.
Oh Jesus. I'm pretty keen to, if anyone's out there from Hunter, the Hunter Gridiron League, they're local to me. I'd be keen on reaching out and talking to some of those guys.
Dude, I'll try and reach out to them through our podcast stuff.
Yeah, I know their season's due to start in February, so
cool.
that'd be an interesting thing. I wouldn't mind getting a bit more of that.